A very good evening to all the viewers and a very good evening. A very happy Raksha Bandhan to all the viewers on this special day of Raksha Bandhan. We have our very special guest and welcome Dr. Ashwini to our Sahet Samvad with Sadhushree.
Thank you.
So I'm going to introduce our guest today. Just give me a moment. Okay, viewers, warm welcome to all of you on one more episode of Sahet Samvad with Sadhushri, a special evening tonight with Dr. Ashwini Kamath, a dentist with over 20 years clinical experience, 10 years of which she has worked in army, military, hospitals in various places in India, a gold medalist and university topper, a meritorious student throughout her education career. She has worked as a lecturer in the dental college, as an honorary consultant dentist in various charitable, private, and government hospitals in India. Now she practices from her own clinic in Canara Bank Colony, Bangalore. She is also a hypnotherapist, having done her master's in it, a hypodontist, a dentist who is trained in hypnosis, a certified past life regression therapist, a future life progression practitioner, an inner child healer facilitator, an EFT practitioner, and a life in between lives facilitator. She's also on the panel of advisors in the leading PLR training institutes in India. She volunteers for the social cause and actively advocates inclusion in society and supports various platforms that advocate inclusion. Her private clinic is in Bangalore, is one of its kind, totally wheelchair accessible dental clinic. She works with the Services Wives Association and is passionately involved in creating social awareness by talking about topics like organ donation, anti bullying, inclusiveness in society, financial planning, gender sensitization, and anxiety and stress management. A voracious reader and a passionate writer, she has published many of her articles in various Indian magazines and online in websites. She is also a consultant with a leading web portal of health, www.psychoheals.in. She maintains a Facebook page, which has garnered a lot of attention and appreciation over the past 3 years. Most of the experiences of people who have undergone regression hypnosis with her are put up here so that someone who's going through similar situations are inspired to seek help. She's a person who believes in creating smiles and radiate from us your soul and finds it a mark on your face. And she is one person who can help you in both. So let's welcome our special guest for the day on the special day of Raksha Bandhan, where she's going to talk about some karmic relationships, especially the relationships between the siblings. So, thank you very much for joining us today, Dr. Ashwini. Over to you. We would like to know from you your little bit of introduction about yourself personally, and then probably you can discuss what you actually do and what is the message for our viewers. Over to you, Dr. Ashwini.
Thank you so much, Rupali ji. Thank you so much. And it was a wonderful introduction. I'm truly touched. Thank you. Well, more than anything else, today I find myself as a sister. Okay. Today is Raksha Bandhan. It's one of the most beautiful festivals, one of the most holy that we celebrate in our country.
Right.
And since Sadhushri had contacted me a few days ago and he said, would you like to speak about something? And I said, on this day, nothing else warrants much attention than talking about the relationship between siblings. And so today I'll be talking about karmic relationships. I'm sure many of you must be wondering how a dentist got into this field of regression hypnotherapy and
Yes.
psychotherapy. Yes, I'm sure many of them do ask me that. And I just wish to tell you one thing. You know, there are times in life when you are so confused, you're so lost, right? So you're wondering, what do I even do after this? And at that time, what you usually do is you look upwards for guidance. And
Right.
when you, yes, and when you look upwards for guidance, there is just one direction which is given to you, to look inwards. It's not to
Mm-hmm.
look upwards, but to look inwards. That is where
Mm-hmm.
my journey started a few years ago. And it's been a wonderful journey and still continuing, probably will continue till the last moment until I breathe my last. It's a learning process, it's a lifelong learning process. And every single step has been so fascinating that there's no way that I would give up this path, never.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. So today, I think we shouldn't waste much time. Let's get into the topic. Yes.
Sure.
There will be a small presentation that I would be doing. So, because what I consider is audio visuals make it a little more interesting and little
Right.
more engaging, so that the people don't drift away from what we are talking. Okay. So I'll just share a screen.
Yes.
So for that, I need to give you the host control.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we'll pass on the host control to you.
Okay. So what we'll probably do is once we finish with the presentation we finish with the topic, then we can even take on questions in case it is there.
Yes.
Yes, of
Surely.
course. So before we start, what I suggest is let's do a small prayer.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So please close your eyes and join your hands. Remember the Gurus. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. Guru Sarva Lokanam Vishuje Bhararoginam Vidya Sarva Vidyanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And on this auspicious occasion of Raksha Bandhan and a lot of other beautiful events are there in today's date, I wish and bless everybody watching this program and everybody who is not here a very, very, very happy Raksha Bandhan. God bless all of you. And thank you so much, Dr. Ashwini. We are blessed to have you here and a conversation with you, to listen to your beautiful words and knowledge. And please, you have the host control. Please start, carry on. Yep. Thank you. Beautiful.
So welcome to the world of karmic relationships. We're all in them. We've all experienced them. And today we'll just be learning a little bit more about them. Runanubandha, as we say in Indian language.
तेरे मेरे बीच में कैसा है ये बंधन
Wow, super.
कैसा है ये बंधन मैंने नहीं जाना तूने नहीं जाना.
So that is where we will start with our PPT. So I hope it's clear what we are going to talk about.
Yes. तेरे मेरे बीच में है ये
Yes, yes,
बंधन,
yes.
कैसा है ये
Very
बंधन
nice.
Yes.
अनजाना. Wonderful.
Yes, yes. So first of all, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me this opportunity to express my views about what I have learned over a period of years, about what karmic relationships are, about sibling relationships as I know. And I would like to share this with the world. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful opportunity for me. Thank you so much. And I thank all of you who are watching this, all my friends who have joined in just to watch this, all of those people who are a part of iSahyog. whoever has known Sadhuji, whoever knows me, thank you so much for giving your time. And today is Raksha Bandhan, the thread that bonds us, the brother and the sister. So Rigveda says that the children, Yama and Yami, who belong to Surya Bhagwan. Okay, so Yami is river Yamuna. She had tied a thread on the hands of Yama and she had wished for his long life. So Yama was so pleased with her that he gave a boon that whenever a sister would tie a thread to any brother's hand, he would live long and he would protect his sister, just like how he had done for his sister. Okay, so this is how far we go with Raksha Bandhan. We all have had moments in childhood, yes, when we have fought with our brothers and sisters. We have fought for chocolates, we have fought for the remote, we have fought for our parents' love. Yes. So who is a sibling? A sibling is a person who shares a parent and is appearing normal only until they get together. Correct?
Right.
And these are my 3 bandhars.
God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. So why is it so important to have siblings? So what makes it so important? See, sibling relationship is probably the only relationship that continues with your life. It starts from your birth and it's there until one of them dies. A parent might leave you midway. A spouse only joins in later. Children come much, much later in life. But a sibling is someone that you have shared your life with, most of your life with. And this is one of the most authentic relationships that we have. They know all our deep, dark secrets, all those skeletons in the cupboard. They know what we have done in childhood. Yes. And we have a wonderful rapport with them through childhood, through adulthood, through teenage, mid-age, till late in life. So that makes it a very special bond. But not all bonds are like that, right? So that is what we'll be talking about today. Okay. This is my brother, Prashant Kamath.
Mm-hmm.
He works with Mindtree, now which is now L&T, and he has been my strength right from the time I have been born. I'm 3 years younger to him, and we have a wonderful relationship, which is built on mutual respect and lot of love.
So
I have learned so much from him. He suffers from something called cerebral palsy. So it is a kind of disability that he's got a lot of involuntary movements, and his speech is not very clear until you get to know him better. Then it becomes clear. He has locomotor disability, but his mind is a bird which flies. He might be physically limited to the wheelchair, but you cannot limit him. He's limitless. Okay, and he has taught me a lot in life. Having a special sibling, actually, I think makes your life much, much better.
Right.
You learn to appreciate what is the most important thing in life. Those small things, those small successes. And you really start appreciating, life. And you take on everything as a challenge. And the kind of acceptance that you find with them, it's not possible anywhere else.
Yes.
Usually very judging. We're judgmental about others. We label them. But it never happens with a person who's specially able. That is something I have noticed.
Yes.
And I have the most amazing circle of friends, thanks to him. And most of them are probably watching this right now.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Great.
Yes. So it's been an amazing journey with him. And I can only look forward to more, I'll probably introduce him towards the end.
Yes, yes,
Sure,
yes, of
definitely.
course. I can relate it because I'm also in such a like environment where I have thousands of my children who are especially abled. I
Yes,
teach them, I have been teaching them. So the bonding that you are talking about, the
yes,
wavelength that you are talking about, the heart to heart and the mind to mind
yes,
frequency you are talking about, I can relate it, where you are taking
absolutely.
us.
Absolutely. In fact, in 2017, we got a forum wherein we were asked to speak about our relationship together. This was in India Inclusion Summit. It is there on YouTube. People who are interested can look it up. We had spoken about our relationship, through childhood. And there were a few who came up to meet me just to express their gratitude that I was able to speak there on the stage. And they were like, you put the words which we were not able to express, you told
Yes.
them. Yeah, so it was amazing. And it's lovely getting in touch with people. Okay, so what are the kinds of sibling relationships that we usually have?
Hmm.
We have crossed the childhood stage. We are now mostly in middle age, considered as adults. Okay, as adults, we are
Hmm.
not truly adults. We are still children in adult bodies, and hence we have certain reactions.
Hmm.
We can have a very joyful relationship, probably like what I have with my brother.
Hmm.
Marriage, children, or any other kind of untoward event also in your life doesn't change that relationship with your sibling.
Hmm.
Not much of sibling rivalry and you get along very well. Now this is probably because the parents have been able to nurture you well through childhood. So there was no sibling jealousy, there was no rivalry or no competition among both of you. Now एक होता है कि घर वापस लौट आया. So
Hmm.
probably you had fallen out, you don't get along well, but then something brought you back together. And you know what usually brings you back together? It is always pain and trauma. Okay, so you go through certain experiences in life which traumatize you, which cause you pain, misery,
Hmm.
and then you stick back together. And why does this happen? Because you've had the longest relationship with your siblings. Even though you've
Right.
fallen out, you still can relate back to when you were friends in childhood. So that is where you get back again. And then there are a few people who put on masks. We all do. We don't need a corona mask, no, a face mask. We are people who have already put on so many masks. We hide so many of our emotions. We actually don't know who we are on the inside. That's the best part. So if you have put on so many masks and you have drifted away from your sibling, then the easiest way to get back together if you want to is by having a proxy. So your child
Yes.
goes and plays with his or her child, and slowly, though there is no communication, there is something like aankho mein ishara, or you're just like, trying to manage the relationship.
Yes.
Then there is one who says, मुझे तुमसे कुछ भी ना चाहिए, मुझे मेरे हाल पे छोड़ दो. Please
Correct.
don't trouble me. I don't want anything to do with you.
Right.
So they try and avoid each other. And this happens because probably they fear rejection, or probably they are afraid of being abandoned again by their sibling. Probably
Right.
would have happened before.
Hmm.
So you're not very comfortable with the other person. As
Right.
far as possible, you want to avoid. Let there be peace. Om Shanti Shanti.
Yes.
Then there are people who only meet when there are occasions. So they are the wedding and funeral type siblings. कोई occasion हुआ, तो let's get together and cheers. वो हो जाता है. But then
Yes.
there are no phone calls, there is no catching up, there is no asking, are you alive, are you dead? No जी. It's only going to be during functions. And
Right.
अभी तो functions भी नहीं है, thanks to Corona. And there are the others who are totally alienated. That cord has been snapped.
Hmm.
There's absolutely no communication at all.
Right.
And probably it is for the good, because they probably had so many tiffs and so much of fallout that it's for the best that they don't communicate with each other anymore. So just give yourself probably a moment's time. Close your eyes. Take in a deep breath. And bring the image of your sibling in front of your eyes. Keep a hand on your heart and ask yourself, which category does this relationship belong to? The relationship you have with your sibling. How does your heart feel as you think about them? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel light? Do you feel happy and joyful? Or is there a tinge of sadness, maybe anger, maybe resentment? What do you feel when you think of your sibling? And you should find your answer. You can open your eyes. And for those of you who did not feel joy or happiness, this PPT, this presentation, this talk is for you. So today we'll be
Well,
talking
it's
about...
really, I must say, it is really a very eye-opening session. It's a very eye-opening presentation that you are giving us. A lot of things which we have never realized is going to be realized now.
Today, let's just talk about soul groups, maybe energetic cords, energetic debts, karma. What is a soul contract?
Right.
See, we are eternal beings. We have lived before, we are living now, and we are going to live again. We have lived various lifetimes. But the soul is one. And the soul comes back each time to learn newer lessons. And it's like school. This earth is like our school. Okay. So when you come here, you're here to learn lessons, to grow, to evolve. And what is the best way that you can grow or evolve spiritually? It is to have very difficult lessons. Okay. So imagine your child is getting a very easy question paper. The child passes, but the child is going to go to higher stages, right? And what if it fails in the higher stages? So the child needs to be assessed at each stage. Similarly, our soul is assessed at each stage. There is a lesson which is being learned by ourselves. We assess ourselves. There's nobody assessing us. So please don't be afraid or scared that there's someone who's going to sit there and judge us. No, it is not going to happen like that. We judge ourselves. We punish ourselves. We learn the lessons ourselves. And we decide where we need to be born and what lessons we need to learn. Okay. So what are soul groups? See, this tree looks beautiful, right?
Yes.
So this tree has got a lot of branches. There are lots of leaves on each branch. You know, we are like that one single leaf on one branch. So who's the soul group? A soul group are all those other leaves which are there on the same branch. And there is no coincidences in life. If you have met people in your life, if there are people who are entering your life or leaving your life, it is for a reason. Okay, they are here to either teach you something or to learn something from you. It's always about getting your lessons. Okay, it's always about growth, about evolution. So do you think just because you have those leaves on the same branch, you're not connected to the others? Look at the trunk of the tree. It is just one single trunk. We all are connected. Every single one of us is connected to each other. It is just that probably we wouldn't meet them in this lifetime. But it doesn't mean that we don't have a connection. We all are one. Okay? And that is what is called as the universal consciousness, which connects us. Okay? Now, what are energy cords? Now, let this be very simple. See, all of us know that every thought is energy. Correct?
Correct.
So, and yes. So when we think a thought, towards someone, we are actually sending energy towards that person. Now, this energy can be either positive or it can be negative. That is a choice that we make. And the choice we make is usually based on our past experiences with that person. Correct? So supposing we are sending a positive energy. Let me show you now. It's like this cord of the earphone. So I send out an energy cord when I think about probably Rupali ji. And I am having a lot of good thoughts about Rupali ji, and there's a cord which connects me to Rupal. Okay. And then we are bound by this energy cord. Okay. This is a positive energy cord. Correct. So it has got a particular distance. If you're thinking in terms of, magnitude and distance. So supposing I'm sending a negative energy towards her, what I'm practically doing is tying a knot. See this? I tie a knot. So what happens when I tie a knot in my energy cord? The cord shortens. It gets short, right? So what you're practically doing when you're sending negative energy towards someone is you're tying knots and you're bringing them more closer to your heart.
Oh, right.
So, so basically what is happening is you keep the people whom you have resentment and anger towards more closer to you. And you constantly think about them because they're so close to your heart. See, even that is negative energy also stays. It's not that just positive energy stays. So you're practically keeping them closer than those people to whom you are sending positive thoughts. Is there any logic in this? Why do we even do this? Correct?
Right.
And we send out energy cords to every single person that we get in touch with. Okay. Over a period of time, a few people drift out of our lives. Do you remember all your college classmates? Do you remember all your school classmates? No, I don't. I'm really easy at forgetting people also. So this is when people slowly drift away, when those energy cords no longer are there in your zone. This happens when the thought is constantly not being sent. There is electric current passing through a wire, only then the instrument or the machine works. Similarly, as long as you're sending your thoughts to a person, that relationship is going to be cherished. It's going to be maintained. And when you stop sending your thoughts there, those energy cords drift away. They get snapped also at times. Okay. So those are energy cords. This is one thing that we do when we are born here as souls. Okay. Something which we consciously do, not subconsciously, consciously do. And when we send these cords to different people, we are actually creating a soul group, as you can see. So this is our soul group. So there is an instant recognition when you meet certain people, right, in life. So you meet someone and you feel like you hit it off and you're talking for hours together. Now this is your soul group. This is whom you're connected to. And why are you feeling connected to them? This is because you have met them before. There is a soul recognition that happens. See, we love comfort zones. We don't like new things. We don't like trying new things.
Right.
When there is a soul recognition, you immediately feel like home. You feel safe. You feel secure. You love it. And you hit it off instantly. Happened, no?
Right.
Yes. Then what are karmic relationships? What is the difference then? See, just like we send positive energy, we also do send negative energy towards people. And others also send it towards us. Now, these past experiences that we've had, maybe in various lifetimes, they always are accumulated as soul memory. And this is what creates a karmic relationship. Okay. So a karmic relationship is here just to teach you your lesson, just to make you grow spiritually or emotionally and help you be, more dedicated towards growth. That is the only objective of every karmic relationship. There's a pattern usually. So you might have met people who say, why does this keep happening to me? Why? I keep going through the same kind of, trauma. It's like, it's not just one person, everybody treats me like this. So there is a pattern, and we find this pattern in one or two people. Okay, so this indicates that it's a karmic relationship. We have known this person before, and you've had certain karmic debts or energy cords, negative energy cords, which are still connecting you to this person. Okay, and it's usually more of selfishness. Every karmic relationship starts with I, me, and myself. What can the other person give me in this relationship? How much can I get out of this relationship? And somewhere one person is the giver and the other is the taker. Okay, so this is what creates an imbalance, and this is what results in resentment. There is a lot of jealousy. And why does this jealousy come in? Because of fear of abandonment. And why is there fear? Why do we experience fear? We experience fear because we are uncertain about what might happen. And why is there uncertainty? Uncertainty is because we lack trust. And why do we lack trust? Because the other person has not been there when we needed them. The word being need. Our needs have not been fulfilled. We have unmet needs. Okay? There is anger and rage. See, whenever our needs are not met over a long period of time, what happens? There is going to be frustration. There is going to be anger. There is going to be rage. There's going to be a lot of resentment. And then what happens? Get ready for a roller coaster ride. So it's basically hot and cold emotions. You're going to be laughing. Hanji? Okay, you're going to be laughing at one moment. You're going to be crying in another. One moment you're going to be saying, oh, I've had enough. And not a second more can I tolerate this. And then you will be like, no, I love this person. So you yourself are confused. There is going to be a lot of abuse involved. Maybe emotional, maybe physical, maybe substance, maybe sexual. But there is going to be a lot of abuse, maybe addictions, resulting in what we call as codependent relationship. You know who's a codependent? A codependent is a person who is probably drowning and thinking how I can save the other person. The knight in shining armor who's trying to save the world. So he himself must be drowning, but still trying to do good to the others, not realizing that he needs to save himself first. हम airlines में भी जाते हैं, तो what does the air hostess say? Put your mask before you put it for the child.
Yeah.
Codependent would never do that. There are lots of unresolved issues. Even when the relationship ends, there is no closure. You will never get closure. And our mind only wants closure. Ever wondered why we keep thinking of something which happened 10 years, 20 years before? Somewhere we are maybe driving, you're watching a movie, and suddenly something comes to your mind. Ever thought why this happens? Our mind loves closure. It wants to tie all the loose ends. It wants the perfect picture, the happy ending, everything ta-da-da-da, everything perfect. But nahi hota hai. This doesn't happen. So there is no closure. So your mind keeps going back. It's like a whirlpool, It's like you're stuck in a quicksand. You keep going back, trying to find answers. Nahi milega. And then what happens? You feel totally emotionally drained. Thak gaye, haar gaye, you're done. You no longer have the stamina to tolerate any more of this. But still, your mind keeps going there. Usually ends in drama. Okay. Now, what we were talking about in the sibling relationships, the last one, alienation, is what we were talking about here. This explains it perfectly. And this need not necessarily be a sibling relationship. It can be in a romantic relationship. It can be a spousal relationship. It can also be a child and a parent. Reincarnation. We spoke about karmic relationships when we are carried over emotional cords. Now, here I wish to tell you one thing which I've gained over, doing regression therapy for so many people. Many of them have told me, almost every single person has told me, it is the soul which chooses the parents. You, as a soul, have a free will, a choice to choose where you need to be born. You choose your parents and you choose your siblings. And most importantly, you choose your pain, the lessons you need to learn. Now, there's this beautiful concept of pain and suffering, which I have to tell you now. So, pain is something that you have chosen before you're born. You decide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the lessons that I have to learn in this lifetime. And you have come here. But how you deal with that pain is your suffering quotient. So maybe you would have seen people, there are a lot of people who have the same kind of ailments, the same similar kind of situations in their life, but they all react differently. This is suffering. So you choose your pain before you're born, but you choose how to deal with your pain, with your suffering. How much do you allow this pain to affect your life is your suffering. Okay? And we have that choice. See, karmic relationships, they are a very huge part of our learning lessons. Okay? And there is a lot of difference between a karmic relationship and a soulmate relationship. Many people ask me, I have not found my soulmate. I need to find my soulmate. Correct? So, who is a soulmate? See, the main difference is that in a karmic relationship, your objective is to just grow, to evolve into a spiritual being. But whereas in a soulmate relationship, it is about relaxing. It's about, maybe learning a few lessons, but not the traumatic way. It's about just being comfortable. Okay. And karma, if you're wondering, we say, we Indians have this habit, Nanna karma. Karma is something that we have accepted. Correct? But karma is not about punishment. Now, here, let me tell you one thing. What is karma? What do you think is karma? Is it the actions we do? Is it the words we speak? Is it the thoughts we think? All of them are. But there's one more thing which is more important than all three of them. That is the intention behind your thoughts. Okay? Let me give you an example. If there's a huge philanthropist, Bill Gates, whoever, Jeff Bezos, let's consider anybody, probably Ambani. So Ambani writes a huge mega $1 million check for charity. But when he does this, his main thought is, I have to seek that income tax deduction. Okay. And he gives it to some charity. What was the intention behind the thought? कर्मा तो किया, चेक लिख दिया, पैसे मिल गए. He has spoken also. He probably said, I'm going to donate to this charity, and everybody clapped and sab ho gaya function. But what was the intention behind that thought? That is what matters. Okay. So karma is about the intention rather than, even if you do something bad, like say supposing I have hurt somebody when I'm doing an extraction. I'm a dentist, so I'm speaking in terms of dentistry. So what if I end up hurting someone, but my intention was to relieve that person of pain? Then have I harmed him or have I hurt him? There is a difference between harm and hurt, right?
Right.
Yes. So when you harm somebody, the intention is to really make that person suffer. That is something that we need to be aware of. See, whenever we experience these traumatic moments during childhood, it's actually creating a blueprint which makes the reality of the rest of our life. Okay. Ever wondered why suddenly you get triggered in certain moments? So probably your wife or your husband just says something, criticizes you, and then you bang the door on their face, or you just walk away, or you just shout at them. What are these reactions? They come out even before you think, right? You don't even think and analyze and then react. It just happens. Snap, snap, snap. Happens. Why does it happen like that? These are all reflex actions, and they happen because it comes through your subconscious mind. Okay. These are blueprints that we have created because of our childhood wounds, which we have gone through. See, pain is not easy to accept. Correct? And when you're experiencing pain, हम क्या करते हैं? If there is a wound, the first thing we do is we bandage it, right?
Yeah.
We want to cover it up. But how does a wound heal, Rupali ji? It heals when you leave it open.
Heals with the time. It heals with the time.
And when you leave it open, it heals faster.
Faster. Yeah.
So the more you cover it up, the longer it takes to heal.
Yes.
Same applies to our emotional wounds.
Hmm.
Okay? But we are so scared of being vulnerable, right? We are scared. We don't want to be weak. We don't want anybody to feel sorry for us. And then what do? We hide our pain. Correct, no? How are you? Oh, I'm fine. सब कुछ ठीक है.
Hmm.
ठीक है?
Mm-hmm.
We love hiding. This is when we put on masks, one on top of another. And at one point of time, you'll realize you don't even know who you are on the inside. Most of these pains originate from our family of origin, that is, our parents. I'm not here to blame the parents. It is just that they themselves were going through a lot. There was a lot that they were handling. Now imagine they themselves had their own wounds, which they carried, emotional wounds. And they themselves were like small children. You've seen children? They go to a store and I want it, want it, want it, and they don't get it, then they cry and they throw a tantrum and they bring the place down, right? Aren't we also like them? Somewhere we are also not healed. We are just like those small children. We act out like them, right? The way we shout at our spouses, at our children. पढ़ाई नहीं कर रहा, ये ले धनादन. We do that, right? So we're basically behaving like children, and we are trying to take care of the child. So there is I am a 6-year-old child inside who's trying to take care of an 8-year-old child. Now there is a imbalance which is created, a power struggle which is happening, right?
Right.
That is where things go wrong. Okay. And we are wonderful at hiding pain, as I said. So if we are not able to hide our pain, you know what we do? We say, chalta hai, it's not a big deal, we minimize it. Everybody goes through it. It's okay. Or we have even other techniques that we do. You know what we do? We blame the other person. You are the reason this is happening. It's because of you that I am suffering. Correct? We do that. And we also deny certain things. We say, no, this is just not happening.
Right.
We are going through something. Somebody asks us, are you okay? I heard that this is happening in your life. No. It's all lies. Sab kuch theek hai, badhiya chal raha hai. So these are the various ways that we try and, hide our wounds. And when we hide our wounds, what happens? We bottle it up.
Right.
We keep it inside. And when you keep it inside, there are two things that can happen. You know what happens? One is you harm yourself, not hurt, you harm yourself because you're acting in. It's actually self-abuse in a way. You don't take care of your body, you don't take care of your emotional well-being, you don't take care of yourself in any way because you're not important for you. There is no self-love. And the way that we do is like a dormant volcano. We'll store, and then gone, finished. जो मिल गया सामने वो मिल गया. Whoever is there, that's his bad luck day. We'll
Right.
erupt and we'll finish. We'll take it out. So whether you act in or you act out, both of them are harmful for your relationships. And these create more energy cords. You getting the connection now? How beautiful, vicious circle that we are running in. So these create more energy cords, which tie you to the person again and again. This is probably the reason why we keep getting these people in our lives. And that is how the pattern keeps getting repeated. Many people ask me, okay, I have gone through a karmic relationship. Now I'm trying to find my soulmate. And this is what I tell them. Okay. Trying to find your soulmate. Bhaiya, please find your soul first. Find yourself.
Right. Well
Okay.
said.
So
Very
when there
nice.
is no self-love, when there is no self-worth, how do you plan to find it in the eyes of the other person? जो हमारे पास ही नहीं है तो वो how will you even find it with the other person? There is no logic in this.
Right.
You don't value yourself. You're looking for validation from the entire world. Do you think you will find it? I'm 100% sure we won't. And the only way out of all this mess is just to be more aware. Okay. And what is awareness? Awareness is nothing but focusing on one thing at one time. So you just focus your time, your energy, your efforts, your intention, every single thing that you do. Focus it towards a particular thing, towards your growth, your self-growth, your emotional growth. Try and evolve to be a better person. Let self-love be your mantra. Because from that, everything else radiates, Until you're not able to value yourself, I don't think you will be able to value any other person. It's not going to happen. Love is not love until you have self-love inside you. You cannot give what you don't have. A glass can only pour water if there is water in it, right? What if the glass is khali? Kuch nahi milega. And the best way to do this is by getting rid of your ignorance. Ignorance is what causes pain. Even Advaita Vedanta says, ignorance is the main reason for pain. And how can you get rid of ignorance? It is only through knowledge. And with this knowledge, you can be getting knowledge through various means. It says through ears. We've got sense organs. We have got, now research says we have got 21 sense organs, minimum of 21. It's not 5 like how our science textbooks taught us. More than 21 sense organs, that senses that we have. Use all of them and assimilate that information for your growth. Get that knowledge, apply it to your life. When knowledge is applied in your life, it becomes wisdom. And wisdom, inner wisdom, is something that no one can take away from you. And this is something that is soul recognition. Your soul remembers. And we usually do this in PLR, past life regression therapy, when we bring out latent qualities from a past life in this lifetime. This happens because our soul remembers.
Very nice.
And there is absolutely no shame in seeking for help. There is a lot of taboo, there is a lot of, misconceptions people have regarding mental health, emotional health. They hesitate. In fact, people who come to me, at least 95% of people don't want their own relatives or family or friends to know that they're coming to me. They come, जैसे बोलते हैं ना, चुपके से आके जाते हैं. Yes. because there's a lot of taboo associated, and which is not right. Because अगर आपको लूज मोशन है तो आप डॉक्टर के पास जाने से हिचकिचाते नहीं हो ना. You don't feel shy even telling that I have loose motions, I have fever, I have cancer, whatever. But then why do you feel shy about telling that you have an emotional issue which needs resolution? We are emotional bodies. The thoughts that we think result in emotions that we experience in our body. When you're constantly worrying about something, you end up having a headache. This is called psychosomatic ailment. Psycho, mind, soma, body. Most of the ailments, more than 90% of ailments that we experience are symptoms of what thoughts we have been experiencing over a period of time. They're all psychosomatic ailments. And we deny them, we hide them until they manifest in this Annamaya Kosha, this body, this dense body of ours. And when it manifests, it is a dis-ease. It is a disease. And what do? We instantly go and get some medication. The medicine might subdue your symptoms, but the cause still remains.
Correct.
Cause is still there. So if this particular disease is gone, you will definitely get something else, because that cause has not been eliminated. Correct?
Correct.
So please do not hesitate in seeking help. A mental health practitioner is there to help you guide, to help you through your difficult times. And we all need a mentor or a guru or a coach, whatever you want to call them. We all need him or her to help us hold our hand, maybe give a push on the backside when you're being lazy, but it is required so that we can improve, be a better version of ourselves. And with this intention, I had created Dragonflies. You can see the logo on the top. It was my main intention. And like Sadhuji says, Vasudhaiva Kutumbaka.
We are all one family, right?
Yes, absolutely. And here is a small video that I wanted to show.
Yes.
What is the intent behind Team Dragonflies? We want to create a community of like-minded people, self-aware, connected souls, whose main aim is to better themselves and then help others who are in situations just like them. We want people to know that through pain and difficulties, they can emerge as a phoenix. Though pain and difficulties can't be avoided, they can be effectively managed through self-awareness and by self-healing. And since healing only comes from within us, everyone should be empowered with the knowledge and the tools that can be used to tread this path of self-healing. Self-healing is a journey, not a destination. It is a process that needs self-awareness, commitment, consistent efforts, guidance, and motivation. We at Dragonflies are committed towards this goal. What is the objective behind starting the Dragonflies? We believe in creating awareness about alternative healing methodologies by providing the experience of different modalities of therapy under one umbrella. We believe in creating a safe space for people to rejuvenate, recover, heal, and re-energize themselves. We also believe in training people eventually in these modalities of therapy. We believe in inculcating a practice of self-love, which can only happen through self-awareness, self-realization, forgiveness, boundary setting, and self-appreciation. What is the shift that we want participants to experience through these healing modalities? Victim to survivor,
through to thriver, from giving up to giving another person a hand, from defeat to being an achiever. And what is my investment in empowering all these participants who join our workshops, our seminars, our retreats? Be Team Dragonflies, work as guides as they begin their journey, and then accompany them as fellow travelers as we walk the path together on this journey of self healing. Come join us. Thank you.
I'm not very tech savvy, so this is a very crude video that I had made. So this is my Anji.
Oh, that's really good. Wonderful.
Thank you. So this is the upcoming workshop, which is on 16th of August. So we'll be talking about inner child healing. This is what I'm doing next. And I did tell you what is an inner child. It's basically our own mind, which has experienced trauma during childhood in various ways. So we try and recover that inner child, and we nurture and reparent that inner child.
Very nice.
And I urge everyone to take that first step towards self-healing. And with this, I complete my session. And thank you so much. And if in
Wonderful, wonderful, Ashwini. Very good. You are doing a very good job, and you are a very golden and a very humble soul.
Yes.
And we are very happy and like glad to meet you today. And thank you for
pleasure is mine. Pleasure is mine.
coming
Thank
and
you.
joining with us. We share, like as you said, some the karmic relations, some soulmates. So we all have something in common. We have some common energies. That is why we all are sitting here together and having
Absolutely.
a nice.
Absolutely. There are no coincidences in life.
No, not at all. No,
Yes.
okay, no coincidence.
Yes.
A lot of things that I learned from you today, and a lot of things reminded me. And it was a beautiful session, and you have presented it also beautifully. You
Yes.
have a very beautiful, calm, and very
Poised.
poised voice, and you have a very noble mission in your life. So what we say is we are always there with you, and we all are one family, like you said, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. We always believe in that we all are one family. So let's make a better family together, because as you rightly said, everybody in today's world needs healing. Everyone, whomever I see today, is wounded in some or the other way. There is so much of quarrel, there's so much of hatred, there's so much of jealousy, there's so much of like dvaita, right? So a lot of things, we feel so different and distinct from each other, though we are not. So that knowledge has to be passed on, and more and more people need to come uh, to the place where you and me are sitting right now, and understand that there is nothing two, there is only one, and we all are one. We have same feelings, and together we can make a beautiful world. We cannot make it separately. Your world is your different and mine is different. That is not going to work at all. We all have one simple, beautiful world. Let's make it together. And definitely, since you people are there, I am very happy. See, the objective of this Sahaj Samvad is to bring more and more like-minded people together. So you can share your knowledge, your objectives, so we all can together make a beautiful world.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for sharing your heart with us. And we would love you to be here quite often, again and again, and give and share your thoughts and give the entire society, the world, a margdarshan, a direction, which is very much required. ठीक है? तो
Be an honor.
no, it's not an honor. It's a duty.
Yes. Yes, indeed. It is. It
We
is.
all are
I
doing
agree.
our duties here. So we all
Yes.
must do it very, very, very religiously.
Yes.
तो ये सब हमारी जिम्मेदारी है और हमें करना है और
And
हम करेंगे.
yes.
Because we are coming, as you said, na, the seed, we are coming from a different tree. So we can't help it. We can't do anything else. हमारे जीवन में और कुछ है नहीं. हमें यही करना है और लोगों को समाज में मार्गदर्शन भी दिखाना है. Some people are required to do this. Spirituality को लेके people have made it very commercial. It has gone to a different direction altogether. But ऐसा नहीं है कि everybody is same. There are good people. There are noble people, humble people. They are knowledgeable, right? And it is our duty to connect all of these good people together. So that this is what one of my target right now, one of my mission is to connect all those good golden people together across the world. So I am just contacting and whomever I know across the world, I'm just requesting them to come and give their words to the world to inspire them. And you are also one of them. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so
So,
much.
so nice of you. And God bless you and your brother, your children, your family. You need anything. Now we are a family. So you are like my sister. You need any help, any support, anything from my side, do let me know. Me and my wife, my organization, everything is always there with you. And one more thing, whoever is watching this program or will be watching in the future, because it is going to be posted on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, everywhere. So whoever is watching anytime, please get in touch with Dr. Ashwini Kamath, and she can definitely help you with a lot of things which you are going through in your life. And as she mentioned, she is coming up with a workshop. Please attend the workshop, and it is going to be very beneficial for you, your family, and your entire life. Because very uh, rarely we get this kind of beautiful knowledge in today's world. So when someone is there, one guru, one mentor, one coach is there, please go take the benefit. Forget about the money, how much the charge is. Money is nothing. Whatever the charge, some wise person said, you must attend a program where you can get the wisdom. Forget about the money. Money can only be earned when you have the wisdom, when you have peace of mind. So gain the knowledge, go there, meet her. In case you need her contact, you can find her on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, on the social media, social handles, or you can get in touch with her there, or you can contact us also. We will give you the contact details. You can please get in touch with her. And God bless all the viewers who are watching this program. God bless you all, your families. Once again, we definitely have some relation, karmic relation, some soul relation. That is why we all are watching this program together, coming together closer to each other. Some knots are there.
Yeah.
We have
No,
some
no, 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 no. Knots are not there.
love knots. We definitely have some love knots. That is why we are coming closer, right? I always say that. See, there
Yeah.
is love and hate. Both are the same strings. Same strings. वो दोनों connected हैं. आप both are similar. When you love someone, there is a string attached, and when you hate someone, again there is another string attached. So string is the same. Depends that it you can say it's a different color, but it is the same string which is attached to the other person. And it is not only attached to one side, it is attached to both sides, right? So in the like some people ask me, Guruji, क्या हम अपने ग्रह चेंज कर सकते हैं? हम ग्रह नक्षत्र मेरे बड़े खराब चल रहे हैं, मेरे बड़े गड़बड़ चल रहे हैं, मेरा ये भारी, मेरा वो भारी, क्या हम ऐसे चेंज कर सकते हैं? I'm not a Jyotish, but I always tell them one thing. The string is attached on both sides. If the planets can change your life, then you can change the planets. provided you should be powerful enough to move your planets as per your convenience. That can only happen with the purity of your heart and your mind. When you are free, the burden is not there. You can definitely change the entire planetary system and make it convenience according to your way, the way you want, and be happy. Someone who is happy like me, trust me, someone who is free from all the bondages, someone who is free from the threat, from the greed, from the jealousy, from everything. There is no planet in the universe which can affect you because I am free from the planets as well. There is no string attached. I'm universally attached. So it can never affect you. But till the time you are into that situation, definitely you can. So there is a different subject altogether, which we can discuss in some other episode. But here, thank you so much, everybody, for watching us. Take care. God bless you all. Happy Raksha Bandhan. And may
Thank
the
you.
divine
Thank you
bless
so much for joining us, Dr. Ashwini. Nice meeting
Thank you so much.
Good night.
you. Now we are going to close this Facebook
She
live
has to
session,
pass the control.
right? Ashwini, I would request you to pass on the host control, please.
Hanji.
Yeah.
We are
Thank you.
going to close this Facebook now. Stop.